Coming to you live from WZNG Studio-B, it's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9. Get ready for inside analysis and recap on all things Cascade High School basketball with the Lady Champions head coach, Janie DeMumbrium, and Champions head coach, Doug Worsley. Hosted by Voice of the Champions, Noah Maddox. Now let's send it live to Studio B for another edition of the Cascade Coaches Show.
Cascade Coaches Show live from Studio B on the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Once again, I'm Noah Maddox, joined by Coach JD and later Coach Doug Worsley. We have a packed show for you this evening. We're also live on the Facebook and the YouTube pages. Cascade Coaches Show brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Cascade Service Company. I believe we will be joined by Coach JD in just a moment. Coming off of another win for Cascade in the district, they improved to 5-0, 59-52 lead, or 59-52 win on a Friday over Loretto. Cascade also with the new TSWA USA Today poll ranked 7th for the second consecutive week. And they come into this week 2 more district games coming up. They're 18-5, 5-0 in district play, and they take on Community in the second Battle of Bedford tomorrow night at home, and then we'll travel to Chapel Hill on Friday. I believe we're joined by Coach JD over the phone. We'll give it a shot. Brandon? Coach, can you hear me? Not quite yet. We'll get it sorted out in just a moment. Cascade shot 50% from the floor on Friday night in that win at Loretto. They completed the season sweep over the Lady Mustangs. They shot 50% from downtown. They shot 50% from the floor as a whole. And Kagan Young led the way with 23 points. Caroline Parker had 16. She shot 4 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 6 from downtown. And Lizzie Keel with 12 points and 6 rebounds. Loretto, they held the Lady Mustangs. Allie Augustine led the way with 23 points, but took her 19 shots to get there. 9 of 19 from the floor. Alexa Crosby had 14. She had 3 threes in the first half. And joining us to talk about this game from Friday night, Coach JD. Coach, I think we got you online.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. I know that you did have the late practice. We didn't exactly know how long that would last, but hopefully we're good to talk for about a half hour. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. You guys coming off, was just going over the win on Friday night over Loretto. On the road, completed the season sweep. You guys led by as many as 14 points. In that third quarter at 2 different points in the third quarter near the end en route to the 7-point win. You guys shot 50% from the floor, 50% from 3, and only turned the ball over 11 times, out-rebounded Loretto by 7 as well. What the biggest takeaways from the win over Loretto on Friday night after that 8-day break that you guys, because that Summertown game was moved up to Thursday the week prior, what were the biggest takeaways after going back and watching that game on film from Friday night?
Well, we were just super patient, and that's a small thing for us, but it's something that is super important in order for us to be successful offensively. When one option wasn't open, we would constantly be looking for the next option. And that's just growth for our girls. And then, we were disciplined defensively. We didn't get up and down the court on them. We didn't do any of our press sets or try to guard them full court. And we just sat down in that half court. We knew some of the stuff that they were going to run, and the girls just anticipated where they needed to be on the defensive end. So,
for sure, you guys eventually got out-rebounded on the offensive glass by 1, but set the tone early by crashing the glass and took a big lead in that department early on in the game to kind of set the tone. It sounded like a disconnect. We'll get her back on the line
No,
here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Good. It made a noise. The rebounding department that you guys, how you guys crashed the glass. How important was that? Winning that battle by 7 in a game where we talk about it going to be outsized, but against Loretto's size specifically.
Yeah, that's just something that we highlighted. Again, that's a little thing. That's just a determination. Do you want it? But those second chance opportunities, I think Lizzie had maybe 2 putbacks that were from offensive rebounds. I didn't know Joe had a putback, and those are just extra points that if we wouldn't have crashed the boards or we wouldn't have made good reads off the basket, then we wouldn't have gotten those points that were able to give us a little bit of a cushion. They are definitely, Loretto's is much bigger than we are. But again, it's rebounding is just all about what do you want and how do you want to go get it and how much you're willing to put forth an effort to make sure that you get those rebounds.
For sure. Let's talk about Caroline Parker a little bit as as kind of a highlight from Friday night. 16 points, 4 of 8 from the field, extremely efficient, 3-6 from downtown, only missed 1 free throw, 5 of 6 in that department. How important was it for her in this game specifically? And then how, as a coach, you've talked about her, as your point guard since day one, since before the season started. This kind of performance in a game, coming off 8 days of no action in games, coming into this one in a battle for first place in the regular season with the district on the line, played such a close game the last time, and she was an instrumental part in you guys pulling away, especially in that third quarter.
I think for me, you just see the value of Caroline. Now, her size sometimes can make some issues, but at the same time, when she's able to step up and hit some of those solid shots and be consistent on the three-point line, it brings our game to a whole different level. She made some great offensive reads for us. And then, of course, she sat down. She was the help a lot of the times that needed to be in there, helping out on weathers or giving some drive help on whenever Augustine was driving in. So, it's great, honestly. Like when I'm able to have multiple kids in double digits, and a lot of those are coming from solid three-pointers. I've talked about her shot. It's one of the prettiest shots. When she gets settled, sometimes she rushes her shot, and that's when she's the most unsuccessful. And so just to see her settle down in a game that's tight like that, it's like she's been there a little bit. She's been in those tight games, and she's able to step up when her team needs her. And, we need those points from her every single night. We need solid shots from her, great shot selection, but just an overall great kid. She wants to make everybody happy. I can promise you that. And her and I have a unique bond, a unique relationship. I told her mom the other day, there's a reason why her path and my path have crossed. And I'm thankful for that. I see a lot of myself in some of the situations that she goes through as far as the game. So,
for sure. Lizzie Keel had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Her it feels like baseline of 3 or 4 deflections every night. Her and combined with Jocelyn Laughlin, who had 6 points, hit a pretty important 3 in the third quarter as well. Came down with 4 rebounds, but for Jocelyn specifically, all the stuff that she does that isn't in the box score, off the ball, especially was a major contributor to why Sophie Weathers didn't score in the first half. Those two defensively, what kind of impact did they have on the game Friday, and what kind of impact do they bring night in, night out?
Golly, I mean, we put them on some of the best players in the state and definitely some of the best players in our district. So I think without them, how successful would we be? I don't think we would be as successful as we have been. They just step up. There's no quit in the two of them, and size does not matter. Age does not matter, and grade does not matter for them. So they just step up to the challenge every night. Lizzie uses every bit of her length to impact the offense for others, and then Jo is using every bit of her strength to impact and make it to where, the things that we are missing, we're not truly missing too much because we have other places where we can supplement that from. So, I mean, you just can't. And they're both sophomores. I mean, this is, Lizzie played a lot for us last year. Jo didn't get a lot of minutes, but she got some quality minutes. And so to see them two both just step up in a time that we really have needed the defense, I mean, that's what we've been hanging our hat on, and it's been great that we can rely on those two.
Absolutely. No Jade Toller on Friday, still recovering from, the stuff that's going around. But you guys played six, you played six on Friday. Susanna, big, part of that coming off the bench. And you guys were able to do all this, Kagan and Lizzie, if, at this point it's like, hey guys, y'all are staying out here. Just don't, stay out of foul trouble and we'll keep you out there on the court. Kagan finished with 23, 5 of 8 from the floor, 11 of 14 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds. As a team, you guys shot 77% from the free throw line, just missed 5, 17 of 22. First off, I guess, how much of a relief was that to see them, make the free throws at the rate that they did on Friday? And then what is that a testament to, them? This is a good building block towards the rest of the season in terms of how we're going to shoot free throws, in y'all's perspective, how we're going to shoot free throws in these big games.
Well, gosh, we highlight them so much in our practices. And we can look at it as, wow, what a turnaround from one game to another game. But until we're consistent with it, I'm never satisfied with our free throw shooting. I feel like we can always be better. They're called free throws for a reason. Take your time, get up there, knock them down. They're shots that we're going to need to hit in the long range of our season. So I just think that we've just been super intentional during our practices on them. And, we know that Kagan, she's going to have the ball in her hands most of the time. So we really need you to step up and focus on hitting those free throws. And then, Caroline, she's been pretty consistent as well. And then Jo as well. I mean, for me, it's everybody makes their free throws. Whether you're breathing heavy or not, you got to step up there, and you never know when those free throws are going to be the winning free throws of the game or the thing that puts you 2 points closer to where you need to be. So.
Absolutely. Loretto, they had the early flurry in the first quarter with Alex Crosby hit those 3 threes. She hit one at the start of the fourth quarter. And they made 7 for the game, but ended up shooting just 33%, 7 of 21 from downtown. How were you guys able to, alluded to it a little bit on Friday, but to not only survive that early flurry that you knew you'd get from the home team, but to come out and take, a 5-point lead going into the second quarter, 14, it was 14-9. How were you guys able to do that with, combining with the fact that they were able to hit some early outside shots?
Well, I think it's, they hit a shot, we've got to go down and hit a shot. We've got to keep them out of the paint. We've got to make their paint shots really difficult to make them take those outside shots. So Loretto's a team where, you've got to take away one or the other. You're not going to be able to solely take away that 3-point shot for them because they just have too many shooters. You're not going to be able to take away all of the drives every single time because with Allie Augustine, she's going to get to the rim. And so it's just, you've got to pick and choose on what you're going to take away. And we chose to leave a few people open at times. We chose to collapse a little bit on Sophie Weathers, but we just went down on our end. We took good quality shots. We ran our offense, and we put the ball in the hole. And then if we weren't putting the ball in the hole, then we were crashing the boards, giving ourselves those other opportunities.
For sure, yeah. You mentioned Allie Augustine. She had 23, but it took her 19 shots to get there. And I'm sure that as a coaching staff, you can live with if somebody's having to take 19 shots to score 23 points, especially with the caliber of player that it is in this case with Allie Augustine, you'll probably take that just about every single time.
Oh, absolutely. Again, you have to pick and choose. What are you going to try and take away? We made her take a lot more threes than she typically has in the past. Down the stretch, she was getting some straight line drives. We talked about, she'll try to go coast to coast on you, and I think she did it twice on us, and then she drove once from the wing and got in there. So overall, I was proud with how we contained her drive because that is her thing. She really wants to get to the rim. If she can't get to the rim, she'll try to pull up one step back on that elbow shot. So.
For sure. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Continue talking to Coach JD. We're going to look forward to the next two games this week at home against Community and at Chapel Hill. Be back in 2 minutes right here on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high-quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
Friends don't let friends miss out on savings. They share tips, tools, and smart choices that help your money go further. At First Community Bank, our savings accounts make it easy to work toward your goals with flexible options, competitive interest, and the friendly guidance you deserve. Because saving more isn't something a good friend lets you miss out on. Open an account today and put your money to work. First Community Bank. Friends and neighbors first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool and triple-stranded pocketed coils to give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company. 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station. 931-684-5662. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show. Maddox still here with Coach Janie DeMubrim of the Cascade Lady Champions. Coach, just a quick bow wrap on the win from Friday. You guys improved to 18-5 overall, 5-0 in the district. Now a two-game with 2 games in hand over a 2-game lead over Loretto and 2.5 over Summertown. They still have to begin their second half of the district slate. And you guys, of course, have the head-to-head over everybody so far with those 3 games left to go in the regular season of district play. We got 4 games total left. The one non-district game is coming up next week, which we'll talk about on next Monday's Coaches Show at Eagleville. But you guys this week take on Community at home. I believe it's for senior night as well on Tuesday or tomorrow. And you guys then travel to Chapel Hill. Coming up for tomorrow, you guys beat Community the first game by 5, 51-46 in a very tightly contested ball game. What are you guys getting prepared for tomorrow, and what are you going to expect to get from Community coming into tomorrow night? And how you guys deal with the emotions of senior night? Because that is a very big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge senior night's a huge deal for us this year. Especially for me and Coach Woodson, this is the group that we started together with Kagan and Susanna. And so to see where we are now over these last 4 years, it's crazy that we're here. But nonetheless, it's coming tomorrow night. But two great girls. You couldn't ask for better leaders on and off the court from both of those. But we're expecting a little bit of everything as far as what community might throw at us. The last time we played them, they ran a little of a diamond and one. They ran some 2-3, and then late they played some man to man. So I fully anticipate even maybe a triangle and two might be thrown at us. We've worked against a little bit of that as we've gone throughout the season. Just anticipating what teams will potentially do on down the road. But we've talked to our girls about not playing into the environment. We expect it to be a great environment. Like, we're celebrating wrestling, cheerleading, boys and girls basketball, so we expect a packed house. And then, of course, it's our county rival. So we just think it's going to be a huge environment. And we felt like last time we were a little scattered and a little shocked at what the environment looked like for us, which we shouldn't have been. It's just like that every time. So hopefully, we settle ourselves down and we play our game, but just not feeding into any of the craziness that can go on in a game and not retaliating on anything and just playing our game. I mean, that's what we're hanging our hat on, is our game. We can't control anything else besides what we do. And when we do the little things and when we play a game, as a team, with all of us all in the same boat and all of us looking to accomplish the same goal, that's when we feel that we're most successful. So.
For sure. Are the ceremonies going to be, before y'all's game, or is it going to be in the middle like it was for homecoming?
Yeah. No, so we're going to leave senior night at, I believe it's going to start at 5 o'clock, so it'll be before the games. And I think there's 5 maybe wrestlers, 7 boys basketball players, and maybe 5, I think, cheerleaders now, and 2 girls basketball players. So it might take a minute. So.
Well, good on the early start time for that. 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time, of course. That's where we're located at Cascade High School for senior night. The senior night ceremony, presentations, things of that nature will go on starting an hour before tip-off between Cascade and Community tomorrow night. Coach, typically in an average year, this would be the final home game, and the only hope of another one would be at 2 other points in time, the region quarterfinal and then the state sectional round. This year, you guys also have those 2 options available at this moment as we stand, of course, as everyone in the state does just about. But you guys will host the district tournament as well. Is there any solace in the fact that, hey, we'll, through the emotions of the moment, but this isn't the last scheduled home game of the season for us, so to speak?
I think the district tournament kind of is just so different. Just that whole environment, that whole week, the preparation for it is so different. So to know that, this is your last regular season game as a Lady Champion on this court as like I said, regular season, that I think it does play into the situation, but at the same time, you do have those 2 extras, and we're going to ride this wave as long as we can, as long as these girls want to ride the wave, and hopefully it does bring us as much as we want during the district tournament, and then hopefully 2 more after that. For
sure. This is definitely before the district tournament, or including the district tournament, probably is going to be the game where you have the biggest ratio of fans in terms of, in your favor, relative to come tournament time. So you guys taking on Community tomorrow night, a chance to improve to 6-0 in the district. We know, of course, that one's going to be hard fought for 32 minutes, start to finish. That game always is. And we know it means a little bit extra as well for you guys. Chapel Hill on Friday, going on the road. We'll touch on this just really quickly. You guys took them down 61-32 here, shot 55% from the floor, and outscored them in the paint, scored 36 points in the paint, forced 21 turnovers. Of course, that game has not yet entered the vision of you guys preparation. Will after tomorrow night's game, but just down a preliminary look, you guys traveling to Chapel Hill, what are your first thoughts on that one? on February 6th?
I think anytime you're going up against John Wild, you always got to come prepared, ready for anything. He does a great job of getting his kids to believe in not only themselves, but that the defensive schemes can be effective against another team. And that's probably been the most difficult thing. I mean, this is the third team that we've played against him. And so for 3 years, I've watched him be able to scheme his way through wins. And when he gets those girls believing, hey, this diamond in two will work, or this diamond in one will work, and this triangle in two will work, and we're going to mix this up, and we're going to make an adjustment here, you've really got to prepare yourself. So it becomes more of a mental game and a thinking game as far as for my girls. So always got to be prepared, always on your toes there with him. He's got a lot of experience, so got to be prepared.
For sure. Coach, we'll go into more detail on the seniors next week. Once this game has been completed, we can do the whole deal with them then as we talk about the result against Community in 7 days' time. Until then, thank you so much for taking the time to call in. And good luck tomorrow and good luck Friday. And hopefully we'll be able to talk to you sometime this week again.
All right. Thanks. Y'all have a good night.
All right, Brandon, we'll be back in 2 minutes for Coach Doug Worsley of the Cascade Champions right here on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture-raised and grain-finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high-quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
In our community, we believe in supporting one another. And at First Community Bank, we take that seriously. For generations, we've been proud to serve our neighbors with personal service that's as genuine as a handshake. Whether you're opening an account for your new business, saving for your child's education, or just need a safe place for your money, we're here with a commitment to the people of our hometown. First Community Bank, proud to be your hometown bank. Visit us today and see how we can help you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Visit Kincaid Service Company today to experience the superior comfort of a Serta mattress. Serta has pioneered sleep innovation for more than 90 years, bringing quality products to more than 150 countries worldwide. Serta Comfort is validated by consumers with thousands of 5-star reviews and are designed and assembled in the U.S. at one of Serta's state-of-the-art facilities. Serta's award-winning mattress collections are created by providing superior comfort along with overall support and breathability. Get Serta Comfort by visiting Kincaid Service Company in Shelbyville. Online at kincaidservice.com.
If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show. Maddox here, being joined over the phone by Coach Doug Worsley of the Cascade Champions. Cascade Coaches Show brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Awesome. We can hear you as well. It's nice to hear you. Thank you so much for calling in tonight. We know that is a hectic time of the year, but we appreciate the time, and thank you for calling in. Coming off of Friday night's loss to Loretto, you guys, you talked about last week on Tuesday, the kind of the illnesses that was going around for you guys, and just trying to get back healthy in that department. Where do things stand, generally speaking, as a team right now, going into the second to last week of the regular season?
Well, it looks like we've looks like we've kind of got over the sickness bug, at least with the upperclassmen. We still have a couple of younger classmen, low classmen who are still maybe not 100%, but they're getting there.
Awesome. Well, how much of an impact was that in Friday night? You know, you talked about it. It would probably likely impact the game in some department, but you guys, after that close game against Loretto at home a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you guys held you to your lowest point total of the season, 35 points, and the first time under 40 this year. As you guys are now 2-3 in the district, still, two winnable games coming up that you guys won both of them the first time through, but now sitting under 500 in the district. What was the biggest takeaways from Friday night in a game that Loretto won by 19?
Well, there's some good things to take away from it and some bad things. You know, we were down 1 at halftime. It was a low-scoring game. It was ugly on both ends. Probably that had to do more with kids being out of sync because of the snow and ice and everything that goes along with that. So I wasn't really concerned at halftime being down 1. The thing that was concerning in the third was we were slow on some rotations. We didn't box out, and quite frankly, we missed some shots that we normally make. Were we worried about it? You know, are we concerned? No, I'm not concerned. I think we'll be fine. But the biggest issue, that was a pretty physical game Friday. We told the kids, we don't blame officials. We don't make excuses. A little lopsided in the foul department, So they got, credit them. They got to the line more. We only shot 6 free throws and they shot 21. That's a huge difference in the game, and I think they made 15 or 16 out of 21. So that's a huge advantage. We couldn't get to the line. Couldn't get a call there. But it is what it is, and we just have to play through it and try to be a little better. When we come out tomorrow against Community.
Yeah, it was 18-17 game at halftime, and we, I think I recall, and Brandon, we're talking over the air, or off the air, one of the two during the game, about how, just being down 1, it's there's an opportunity here for you guys, still in this game, despite how, it looked through the first 16 minutes. It was 19-9 in terms of the fouls called. You guys obviously were called for 19, and then they finished +9 in the free throws made department. They were 13 of 21 in that respect. They shot 47% from the floor, and pulled away in the second half. You guys, 5 of 20, kind of from downtown. You guys have, or Coach, you have talked about the 3-point shooting. Of course, it's important for the way that you guys play. Going back on the film, what did you think of the looks that you guys got? And if they're pretty good looks, then I guess it's just, we got to hopefully hit them next time.
Well, we didn't get as many. Well, I should say this. We turned down some looks that we haven't turned down all year. Us only taking 23s, that might be a rarity. I mean, we're usually up near 30.
Yeah.
So the fact we were 5 of 20, if you kind of relate it back to when we played Richland and lost at home to them, we were 1 of 20. Usually we get less than 20 opportunities to shoot the 3. It doesn't bode well for us. So you got to credit them for taking away some of our looks, which they did. And then, you got to put it on us because we had some opportunities to shoot the 3. And maybe because we weren't making a lot of shots, guys got nervous, guys doubted themselves, and they turned down shots that we would ordinarily take.
Caleb Kelso finished with as the leading scorer with 10. He had, but it was a struggle from the floor against that Loretto defense. 3-14. He did have 6 rebounds, and then Tyler Rogers had 8 points, 3 of 6 from the floor, had 4 rebounds himself. But Cooper McElroy, 4 points, but was held to just 5 shots from the floor. That, you probably can count on one hand the amount of games this season where, he's been held to 5 shot attempts or less. What did you see that was, that resulted in that many or that low amount, I guess, of shot attempts for those guys?
Well, a couple of things. Cooper was sick all week, and his first practice was the day before we went down to Loretto. So Thursday was his first practice day. He probably was not 100%. I dare say he wasn't. And then, they did a really good job of making sure he didn't get open looks. They loaded up, and they dared some other guys to make some shots, and we didn't make shots. So, again, if we make 9 threes instead of 5 threes, a game's a lot closer.
Yeah.
It's a matter of we didn't make shots.
Yeah. For Loretto, Mason Tidwell at 19, he did have a double-double, 19 and 10 rebounds, but, shot around 50%, 7 of 13, and with his shot diet, only taking 2 threes, he missed them both. You could probably live with, in a general sense, him shooting 50% from 2, if you were given that in a vacuum. What do you think of the defense from you guys as a team on Tidwell, and then Colin Wilkerson? He finished with 14 and 6 of 10 from the floor. Also missed both of his threes.
Well, we didn't do a very good job with Tidwell, simply because he gets in there and guys don't want to get in front of him and take that charge. He's quick enough. He sidesteps some of the stuff when you square up and look to take the charge on him. We just didn't do a very good job boxing him out and rebounding. With a guy like him, sometimes you got to hit him with 2 guys on the rebound, and we didn't do that enough. And then, they had some guys that maybe didn't play as well at our place, but played a little better at their place.
Yeah. So. We'll keep talking to Coach Worsley on the other side of this break. Be back in 2 minutes right here on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture raised and grain finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you with high quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
At First Community Bank, we're more than just a place to deposit your paycheck. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Whether it's helping you buy your first home, saving for college, or offering a loan to get your dream off the ground, we're here every step of the way. For over 35 years, we've been proud to serve the people of Bedford County. When you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. First Community Bank, your hometown bank. Stop by today. We're just right down the road. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool, and triple-stranded pocketed coils give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company, 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station, 931-684-5662. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show, brought to you by Five Oaks Farm of Tennessee, Clanton Pipe and Supply, First Community Bank, and Kincaid Service Company. Noah Maddox here with Coach Doug Worsley over the phone. Coach, when we went to break, we were you had brought up some guys that, some, I guess you could say, role players stepping up at home. The old, the adage goes, but Cooper Burleson, one of those guys, he was a freshman, was actually in the starting lineup. I don't think he played very many minutes, if at all, in the first meeting back on January the 9th. He was in that starting lineup. He finished with, added 8 points that they didn't get in that first meeting. And that's really, and then Kason Springer had 6. He was moved to the bench after starting the first time. That's 14 points from guys that didn't really register anything in the first meeting. How difficult is it to overcome that kind of thing, and then that kind of scoring output? And is that something that you guys were expecting going in, and were you expecting it towards that level?
Well, we knew, even though we had a starter going to the bench, we knew he's capable of making some shots. And so seeing him come off the bench was a little bit of a surprise. Looking at the video, he had not been starting, or he had been starting up to that point. And then seeing the freshman start, I thought we rattled him early, but give him credit. He came back and made a couple of shots that we didn't expect. One was kind of a gift. They had run a pick and roll, and we switched it well. And Ryder came off of it and just got tangled up with someone's foot and went down. And so he was kind of there by himself. And, to his credit, he recognized that Ryder was, on his way back up, trying to get back up. And he took the 3, and it went in. So, a little bit of opportunity there for him. And obviously 14 points from them. That's, again, a 19-point win and 14 from guys that didn't score before.
Yeah, that is that is tough to overcome, and that's certainly maybe not to that exact level, but something that I guess going into an away game, you kind of have to expect somebody's gonna step up for them. You guys at home have the benefit from the same thing most of the time as well. It's just you don't really know who, and most of the time, and don't really know how much, to what extent.
Right.
Coming into this week, you guys now sit at 13-9, 2-3 in the district. Of course, the game should have been a 2-game week last week, but that game against at Huntland was canceled because of weather, of course. So that's a non-district game that's off the calendar, and assuming that one not going to be fought to get rescheduled. Of course, another non-district game coming up in 8 days' time at Eagleville. Senior night's coming up tomorrow night. And then at Chapel Hill on Friday. 2 district games this week against 2 teams that are is who you got your 2 district wins from. Community on the road, 82-74, and are a pretty entertaining high-scoring affair the first time around back on January 13th, and then a 58-37 win the first time against Chapel Hill on January 16th. Got you guys to 2-1 in the district. Be taking on Community tomorrow. I guess the biggest thing is the seniors. Coach JD said, something like 7 seniors on this team, 5 or 7. I think she said 7. What does that that mean for you as the first year here at Cascade? What those seniors have meant to you guys, and how they've helped you kind of transition into this job?
Well, we're really proud of our senior class. We do have 7 seniors. We have one that Zeshawn Swaggerty. He was a transfer, of course, and played football. So first year for him on the team, and the other 6 have been here. I think they've been here either all 4 years or at least 3 years. So a group of guys who's been here at Cascade for a while. They've been part of the program and done a fantastic job building it. We're really proud of them. We're really proud of the effort they put in. When you think about, your senior year and some of the things that you envision happening, and then all of a sudden you get a new coach, and that coach does things differently and runs a different style of offense and defense, and then all of a sudden maybe what you envisioned is not where he has things going. And so you have to adapt and, try to become, I'll be a part of whatever the new coaching staff is doing. These guys have been all in. They've not balked at it one bit, and we're just really proud of what they've done. We've challenged them. We've told them that we're going to try to make them uncomfortable every day in practice and in games. We want them stretching themselves as players, and to their credit, they've grabbed hold of that, and they've done that, pretty much all year.
What the guys that are in the starting lineup for you that are seniors, Caleb Kelso, Tyler Rogers, for the majority of the season, Henry Stone, those three specifically that start, and then guys that come off the bench as well that play impactful roles, Noah Watson, I believe Tristan Billings as well. What do those guys that get on that touch the floor and contribute specifically have this year in game scenarios? What have they meant to you as the first year head coach here, and how have they specifically helped help the rest of the guys buy into to what you're preaching day in and day out?
Well, for them, they have they've kind of set the standard. They've shown the younger players, even the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen. Here's how you come to here's how you come to practice every day. Here's how you put in the work. Obviously, they're older. They've had more reps. They've had more time, and they're a great example for our younger guys. And they've helped coach from the sideline during JV games. They're guys who are there cheering them on. Sometimes they're keeping the book. Sometimes they're keeping the clock. They're a great role model and example for our younger players. If you want to aspire to be a guy who's all in your program, our seniors this year definitely show that. As far as what they mean to me, I had a conversation with them last week. We were talking about some things. We get to regularly meet as a group and get to talk to the seniors and see where their mind is, where their heart is, what they're going through. And one of the things that I told them last week was the only regret I have this year here at Cascade is I only get to coach these guys 1 year. To me, that's my regret is I don't regret what we've done so far. I've seen great growth in how we're doing things. The guys are working hard, and I see more trust being built between them. But the one thing I said I regret is I only get to coach them for 1 year. I wish I had them for at least another year. I really think that would be awesome. But, it is what it is. But I'm going to savor the year that I have with them for as many games as we have left. And I told them, you need to play like there's no tomorrow. I said, you're coming down to the end of the regular season. I said, once the postseason starts, it's pretty final. Depending on what round of the playoffs that you're in, it could be final, or it might be going on to another round. I said, but you need to play like, this is your last game. And that's the kind of energy you have to play and the focus you have to have. And so we're just trying to challenge those guys to enjoy every minute of it. It's over in a heartbeat. And the next thing you know, they're walking across the stage of graduation. And but they mean a lot to us. And I'm very proud of the senior class.
Well said. Yes, Coach. I guess congratulations on being able to coach them this 1 year. And then there will still be games, more games to come. So hopefully, you guys can extend it as far out as possible. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Preview Community and Chapel Hill on the other side of this break right here on the Cascade Coaches Show.
Looking for farm fresh beef with real Tennessee flavor? At Five Oaks Farm in Shelbyville, their cattle are pasture-raised and grain-finished for rich, tender taste every time. From their popular burger box to the fully stocked family box, Five Oaks Farm is here to serve you. with high-quality, locally raised beef. Order your box today at fiveoaksfarmtn.com. Five Oaks Farm, a brand you can trust.
At First Community Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a true partner in your success. As a local business ourselves, we understand the challenges you face. Whether you're a new startup, a family business, or a growing company, we're here to help offer the tailored financial solutions you need. Looking for a loan, a business checking account that works for you, or expert advice from someone who truly gets it? We're just a call away, ready to support you with personalized service that makes a real difference. At First Community Bank, we believe your success is our success. Join the many local businesses who trust us every day to help them grow. Come see us today or visit firstcommunitybanker.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool and triple-stranded pocketed coils to give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company, 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station, 931-684-5662. If you're in the market for heavy equipment, Clanton Pipe and Supply has you covered. With everything from skid steers, backhoes, and even mini excavators, you never know what Clanton will have on the lot. For all your pipe and used equipment needs, call 931-684-4847. For heavy equipment, financing is available with approved credit. And of course, you know Clanton for their corrugated metal and plastic culvert pipe. They carry all types and sizes, not to mention that delivery is also available. 931-684-4847, ClantonPipeandSupply.com.
It's the Cascade Coaches Show on the Zinger 100.9.
Welcome back to the Cascade Coaches Show. Noah Maddox here, joined by Coach Doug Worsley over the phone. Coach, we are now going to look towards tomorrow night in between the lines against Community, and then Friday at Chapel Hill. First up, Community, obviously. How are you guys? I pose this question to Coach JD in the first half hour. I'll pose it to you as well. How important and how difficult will it be to deal with the emotions of senior night, specifically in this special evening for those 7 seniors and of course the coaches that are going to be playing? How do you guys manage those emotions and manage getting ready to play Community tomorrow night?
That's an interesting question. For us, it's very difficult to manage those emotions as a senior. We just try to preach to our kids, stay focused, stay in the moment. And of course, because it's Community, there's an added level of rivalry there. Mm-hmm. So I have no doubt that that's going to be another thing to have to contend with. But the biggest thing for us is, hey, we just have to be who we are. Try to stay focused and do the job, and then let the game take care of itself. Again, every game is an opportunity to learn and grow, and so we have to use that opportunity. How can we grow from the last time that we played them? Hopefully, we can defend the ball a little better. Hopefully, we can take care of the basketball a little better. We had 20 turnovers last time that we played them, and so we need to take care of the basketball better. We need to we need to keep them off the free throw line. Specifically, their best guard, lived at the free throw line. So we got a job in front of us, and so we're going to have to manage all those emotions and all the things that come with the rivalry, and see if we can stay focused and locked in to do the job we need to do.
For sure, Haskins had 30 plus, went 13 to 15 at the free throw line in that first meeting, as you were alluding to. For you guys, I had 4 guys in double figures. 2 of them finished with 23, Caleb Kelso and Cooper McElroy. Pretty efficient nights for them. For those, and Cooper McElroy had 6 rebounds with 7 assists in that game. What can you guys do at least offensively, kind of replicate, maybe not identically or the same way as 82 points, but how can you guys replicate a strong offensive performance? This time, as you're kind of alluding to, ramp it up a little bit on the defensive end as well.
Well, we just got to continue sharing. We got to continue sharing the basketball with each other. Guys have to be ready when they're open. To shoot the basketball. We talk about the 3 R's: having room, having rhythm, having range. Doing those things well. Looking to attack the paint. I thought we did a really good job last time of getting into the paint, causing them to collapse. Then we got to kick out and shoot. We didn't hit a ton of threes, but we got a lot of paint touches that led to baskets.
For sure.
We got to try to replicate that again. That's where we start anyways. That's where it starts for our offense. We ought to touch the paint with the ball.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys had 40 points in the paint in that first meeting. And I was shocked to see. I had to double check, but you guys went 7 of 15 from behind the line in this one in the first meeting back on January 13th. But as you said, you guys were able to score prolifically in the paint in that one. Also, that was a big showing out for Ryder Pilkington against those bigs. How do you get that that kind of performance from Ryder specifically in this kind of game? Maybe it doesn't have to exactly replicate again the same totals, but the same level of effectiveness in part 2.
We just, Ryder's just got to continue to be consistent. There's been various games over the last couple of weeks where he's given us a really added presence down in the post, where teams are starting to get out and try to deny the 3 to us, try to lower the amount of threes we get, open looks. That gives our bigs opportunities to go one-on-one inside or be able to go attack their player without a lot of help coming. And so Ryder's done a really good job of recognizing that and playing through it, playing his role. And so, we'd love to see him, consistently hit double digits every night. He's helped open up the floor for our guys, and it's made us more efficient, I think, the second half of the season. We just got to continue to do those things.
For sure. Thank you so much, Coach, for taking the time this evening, and good luck this week. Especially, tomorrow, of course, community at home, and then on the road to Chapel Hill. Good luck tomorrow, Coach, and thank you again for taking the time to talk with us this evening.
No problem. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well. Brandon, we'll be back tomorrow night, not for the show, but for live action against Community, the Battle of Bedford Part 2 at 5:45. That's when we'll be live with Mr. Brian Cruz. For Brandon Crossan on the 1s and 2s, and for Coach JD and Coach Worsley, I'm Maddox, signing off for the final time tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 5:45. Thanks for listening.
Wait, did I hear road trip? Oh, I call shotgun. Your perfect road trip co-pilot is real classic rock. Take the Zinger where you go on the free Zinger 100.9 mobile app. Road trip! WZNG Shelbyville, the Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Road trip! From the Farm Bureau Insurance North Main Office Weather Center, here's Southern Tennessee weather meteorologist Elijah Kirby.
Monday brings continued improvement in the weather department across southern Middle Tennessee. Skies will be partly cloudy and temperatures will climb into the mid-40s with southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we move into the evening hours, temperatures will fall slowly thanks to increase in cloud cover. Tonight will be partly to mostly cloudy with lows near 29 degrees. Winds will remain light out of the south. Tuesday turns warmer but unsettled. Highs will reach near 52 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Rain showers will become widespread Tuesday afternoon and evening. Rainfall totals will range up to 1/2 inch, which could lead to wet roads and slower travel, but no flooding or winter weather concerns are expected. Once we get past this weather system, it looks like the next 7 days will stay fairly dry, with not very much rain in the forecast. That's your Monday afternoon and evening weather update. I'm Southern Tennessee weather meteorologist Elijah Kirby.
Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee has protected Tennessee homes for generations with local agents across the state. We're here with home insurance when it matters most, right in your community. If you're new to the area or just new to us, call your local agents Jeff and Kenneth at 931-575-5050 or visit the Bedford North Main Farm Bureau office at 1735 North Main Street, Suite C1 in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Tennessee Insurance for Tennessee Life. We play our classic rock because, well, the new stuff isn't trying hard enough. The Zinger 100.9 and AM 1400. Follow on Facebook, Instagram, and X at the